There is something in the air these days. The winds are shifting, the season's changing, and the playoffs are in sight. From here on out, the stakes are higher, victories sweeter, and mistakes more costly. This week in Michigan, it's a last chance for some and a final tune-up for others. The home stretch of the season is upon us. The 2024 Discraft Great Lakes Open starts now.
Hello and welcome to round one of the 2024 Discraft Great Lakes Open presented by Garrett J. Verberg. We are out here at the Toboggan Disc Golf Course. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the two hot geese.
Honk, I just realized I had not said that name out loud yet, ever.
I don't even think I've read it. It was a grand surprise to me and I think to everyone.
Yeah, they're a candy maker. Oh. They make a lot of cool, like kind of old-fashioned candies, and Sweet. They're all out on the course right now and we get to eat it, so cool.
And on the card today, we have Kristin Tattar at 77% fairway hits for the 2024 season, 63% circle two in regulation, 79% C1X putting.
Missy Gannon, currently your Disc Golf Pro Tour points leader in 2024 so far. She's 81% of the time in the fairway. Wow.
Yeah.
64% circle two in regulation and 76% of her circle 1X putts dropping.
Holyn Handley, definitely eating candy out there. 78% fairway hits, 63% circle two in regulation, and 80% C1X putting.
And last but not least, your 2023 D-Glow champion, Scoggins, 78% of the time in the fairway, 58% of her circle two of the time she's putting from circle two in regulation, 82% of her circle 1X putts dropping. Let's start out with hole one. It's par 3, that's 516 feet. Seems weird, you might say. It is a little bit weird. This is one that most players are playing for par. Out of bounds all the way down the left and right side, a big downhill shot. It is reachable by everyone in the field, but with like the most monstrous high risk shot you could ever throw. In reality, most golfers are golfing this one for a par.
And teeing off first, she is your reigning FPO 2023 Discraft Great Lakes Open champion from Los Angeles, California, Scoggins.
Owen won last year, cruising to a victory. The story of last year is that she won without birdieing a single one of these par threes, which, as Madison said, are pretty monstrous, all of them.
Yeah, this is a good example of what you find from most of the par threes. Owen just birdied every par four almost.
Yeah, pretty crazy. See if she can repeat that performance.
Grapevine, Texas, Holyn Handley.
Holyn is an example of someone that can reach a lot of the par threes on the course. Again, she just has to decide how much she wants to bite off.
The answer to that used to be all of it all the time, but it seems like she's kind of calming down and golfing a bit more. She had a great run at Worlds. Was that last week? Week and a half ago?
Yeah, 2.
Ended up in 5th. We know she's hungry for some more wins.
9 podiums this year, 14 straight top 10s for Holyn Handley.
Wow. Also, huge crush, but it's going to be OB. But she just threw it over 500 feet down that hill.
Missy, Gannon.
You guys know big money Missy.
She's got 4, I believe, Elite Series or major wins this year. Not a bad year for Miss Missy.
She's played here at D-Glow 4 times. She's gotten top 10 twice and top 5 once. A really comfortable place for someone that is great with a distance driver, and we know her and her Thrasher are match made.
Oh, she's going aggressive backhand. A little too much turn, but she cut rolls back into the fairway. Maybe even circle two or close.
21 Deep champion and two-time world champion from Parnu, Estonia, Kristin Tattar.
You can see the players all kind of looking to the right after they throw. They put a big screen up there so we can see how our disc finished because this hole is very blind.
Usually it's blind, yeah, and you just stand there and you're staring at the spotter. So it's kind of cool to be able to watch it finish.
Definitely a safe shot from Kristin. Just putting it out there in the middle, leaving a little bit of an approach.
Kristin had a slower start to her World Championships, but ended up getting solo third with a couple of really great final rounds. Hopefully she's feeling confident moving into this tournament. Looks pretty confident.
That's a good start.
Missy kind of flirting with that right side OB on the backhand. You see a lot of women, if they have any kind of a forehand game, tend to go forehand upshot, try to take that little OB patch out of it. Own close enough to jump putt. Man, her forehands are just getting more and more distance, it seems like. Holyn throwing 3 with the out of bounds. Gonna start things off with a bogey at best.
Like I said earlier, par is a great score on this hole. There will likely not be very many birdies, if any at all. Let's see. There were none today on hole 1. It was a nice, calm day. There's not a lot of wind. Sometimes we play this course and the wind is absolutely brutal, and throwing off these hills is terrifying. Today it was relatively calm. There was a few little breezes here and there that definitely made you think, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah, it's downright pleasant out there.
Sure was. Very dewy. Hole 1 played as the most difficult hole of the day, averaging at over a half a stroke over par. Very surprising.
That is surprising.
There were 18 OB strokes.
Huh.
Yeah.
People nervous, maybe?
Maybe.
And it looks like Madison Walker's in a tie for first, everybody.
Honk to that.
Even par. Hole 2 is a par 4. It's 426 feet. Right back up that hill that we just threw down. You want to progress, obviously, as far as you can. We're going to switch pin positions, bop around, if you will. Today we're starting in the long pin position. Much harder to reach. A bit of a distance separator hole. If you don't get far enough off the drive, you're just not really going to get up there inside the circle for a putt. It's much, much easier in the shorter position.
Yeah, once you crest the top of that hill, what is it, like 80 feet?
Maybe a touch shorter, but it's far.
Okay,
yeah, it's far.
So yeah, you have
It's not right over the hill or anything.
Yeah, you have to come over that hill still pushing a little straight. It's kind of a technical shot, especially with how steep uphill the second half of this hole is.
And how nose up you have to throw. As long as you keep it in the middle, get a little bit of distance here, you're pretty happy. If you're not careful and put too much on it, you can end up on the berms on the side and your footing is compromised.
So another thing that's different this year at D-Glow than other years is there's like a rotating 3-year schedule of maintaining the off fairway areas. The rough this year is in that 3rd year, and it is brutally rough.
The roughest I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it's so going off the fairway anywhere where it's dense looks worse than it does on camera, and is worse than we really usually have to deal with on our disc golf courses on tour.
Thorny, nettly.
Yeah. Even with spotters, it can be tough to find discs.
Oh, and giving this really good power, the uphill run-up makes it really tough to do what she just did. That was an impressive shot. And some tree love.
A really nice gallery here on day 1, Thursday morning. Everyone trying to soak up this nice weather because it isn't going to get worse as the weekend goes on.
Was this a 4-day last year as well?
Yeah.
Okay. It's nice to have 4 chances at the same single course. We don't often get to do that. Kristin from off the fairway.
But
wow, just
way
parking
up
it.
there.
Yeah. They all got a good
little standstill.
Yeah, look how
Wow.
far. Yeah.
Holy
so
cow.
the short pin is just on the top of the hill.
You can
Holyn
see the
would
circle
be
1 flags.
100 feet from that one. Wow, they're all going to make this look so easy, which is why they're on that side of the camera.
This plate has the second easiest hole of the day.
I bet it's the easiest tomorrow, but I'm
Yeah.
surprised. These are interesting statistics.
Yeah, I don't ever quite feel like I have a handle on this course, no matter how many years I play here and how many practice rounds I log. It's always a bit of a mystery still. This hole averaged at a half stroke under par today.
Well, go in your notebook and just write that you need to birdie this one,
Easy
because apparently
birdie.
everyone is doing it.
That's good mental games, right? Easy birdie.
Everyone's doing it.
Everyone's doing it.
Everyone but you.
This is a nice little hole right here, though, because there's no out of bounds you're really worried about. And that changes quickly.
See, everyone's doing it. Star frame, $25 to edge. You're a failure if you don't get it.
This hole's going to be hard tomorrow morning.
When in the shorter position.
While it's raining.
Oh, actually, yeah, second shot in the rain would be tough.
Big old tie at -1. 24 birdies out of 48 competitors.
Looks
in
like
the field.
Madison slid out of the first place position.
It's rough out here, folks. There is out of bounds all the way down the right side. They widened the OB on the left side, so there's a little bit of a bailout zone, which is nice. It pinches back in, though. You can see that little pinch point. If you're throwing a big drive, you want to get just past that pinch point out into that open triangle area if you can, but it is a risky shot, and we see some players kind of more of a pitch up play to the second pinch point just before you go slightly uphill to the basket on this big open flat green. If you are to the right side of the fairway at all, you cannot see the basket, and it's a blind approach. Makes it very tricky.
This is early from Own, but she's disking down here. This is not a destroyer. It's her rock 3. It's still going to be out of bounds. She's trying to play it safe.
The rough on the right side of this fairway is out of bounds, but also you just don't want to go over there because you may never see your disc again.
Most likely. I yanked one over there, and the spotter got it back, and he jumped out of the bushes, thorns clinging to him. Was like, I got it.
It's, oh, look at those arms in the air. What a great shot from Missy Gannon. It's a very committed shot. You have to pull out a fairway or a distance driver and really trust that it's not going to dump over. Kristin's is doing that, but I think it's far enough.
It's trying to fade out of it. But it does not. She's down there so far, though.
And I hope she doesn't need that disc for the rest of the round.
Yeah, they had multiple spotters looking on this hole, though, trying to get everyone's discs back.
Holyn definitely going huge. Some players have the game plan here to just throw it as hard as they can, as straight as they can, and just take it where it sprays out of bounds, but way down the hill. Because this is a par 5, it's a little bit of a softer par, so you can rescue that par even with the OB stroke.
I don't know if Holyn can rescue it from this far back, though.
Oh, she definitely can. A par?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That was a big shot.
She will have a bit of a blind second shot.
Kristin from not too much farther. The nice thing about this one is if you do get one of those big tee shots off, like we saw Missy get, it is eagleable.
I wish they would put like a big flag on top of this basket, because when you're down on that right side, there's nothing.
Oh, you have
there's
no
no
idea.
indicator. Yeah. You can't walk far enough back to see.
You just have to follow your heart.
Yeah.
Own laying up to right before that out of bounds. A lot of ladies want to be more to the left because you can see it on that side slope.
Missy lining it
Whoa.
up.
She's going eagle bid. And
Wow.
she's safe.
Riding that right line, but going huge. She's pin high.
Sweet shot.
Yeah, Kristin has no look on the basket here, just throwing blind. That looks a little early.
Ooh, big flare skip. She stays in bounds. Might not be the easiest par to rescue.
But it is very gettable.
Holyn putting it out wider. Looking pretty good for a par.
It's crazy. This hole feels very easy to birdie in practice. But then you get out here and you get up on top of that big old hill and you're like...
Really thinking about your angles.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, uh-oh.
Like the memes with the little math symbols all over your head.
Especially when it's windy. It wasn't even today. Missy for eagle. Missy with the layup for birdie.
Kristin to recover par from circle 2. Whew, inches. She's going to have to settle for bogey. The Swan played in the middle of the pack on difficulty with half the field parring it. There were 13 birdies.
I want to shout out Paige Shue, who eagled it with like a 25-foot putt.
Yeah.
She played it really great.
Paige, one of 2 eagles. Ella Hansen getting the other one. Awesome. Did she go huge off the
huge off the tee? Huge.
She's so good at throwing distance drivers.
Kristin gonna take a bogey. Missy with the only birdie on the card, and as Madison says, this is one that you are kind of drawing up. Like, yeah, as long as you're in bounds, it is a pretty easy birdie.
And to reiterate, pretty much every par 4 and 5, you're like, I should get this one because the par 3s are just they're just not unattainable, but they are rough.
Introducing Disc Raptor, the best way to clean and dry your discs on the course. Make short work of mud, moisture, and dust in a quick spin. It's there when you need it. Welcome to the future of disc golf.
Hole 4 is a par 4, 508 feet. You can take this left side that the drone is flying with kind of a backhand turnover or maybe bailout flex play to the left, maybe even a forehand. There's also a hyzer play to the right of that tree. If you're lined up down this tunnel, it's not that far of a second shot to attack this uphill, but it's hard to get the height correct. You can see those logs they put in. You often will throw it and those logs will catch you if you do not get enough height underneath the disc. Also, it's a pretty fast green. You see some rollaways, especially if you're going, big circle 2 bids. If you're on that left side, it's kind of a low ceiling, really difficult approach shot.
Wow, this is a great looking shot from Missy. Just perfect angle and right to the opening. This gap's pretty finicky. The landing zone, even though it looks really big, the way the trees are placed, you have to either land short in between those first 2 trees or about 30 feet past that in order to approach the green.
I like the sidearm play from Owen. You don't really see that too much.
Yeah, it sets up perfectly only for the flex forehand.
Yeah, the force over. Holyn taking that left side, getting past that tree. Should be lined up pretty well right there. Kristin with a big shot. Might be too far to the right, though.
Yeah, she could be pinched a little bit. With her forehand, she might still be able to get up and down. It'll just be a very technical blind shot. Holyn lining up a forehand here.
Good height, just a little early out of the hand. She's going to be knocked down in circle 2. She'll have a putt, though.
You have to come in the air here because you can see those pieces of wood that go across the middle. There's 3 of them, and they do not allow you to come in and get any sort of slide or skip. Oh, not quite situated to the gap the way that you have to be. She tries to work something around the outside.
Missy with a better look at it, but you can tell just, oh, she got lucky.
She did.
And not quite enough height, but she skips over that last log barrier.
Kristin trying to put this one high.
Yeah, not too pinched. So close.
She's so far down there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a huge shot. She went goal line St. Pro off the tee. Ooh, Owen got kicked to a bad spot here. Looks like she's going fast speed.
I'll take it.
Just ricochets off. Just throws it as hard as she can and ricochets off a tree into the circle.
Inside the circle? Yes.
Man, she just cranked on that destroyer.
Holyn for birdie. A lot of ceiling.
than a lot of floor. Kristin. Good looking bid for birdie.
Both of the last couple of putts just coming up barely too short.
Own somehow saving a par there.
Yeah, just ricocheting her way up this fairway.
Working really hard for that one.
65% of the field parring this one. It played it as the 5th most difficult hole. This is one of the only par 4s that I don't think you're banking on getting.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 really challenging technical shots. I think the hardest par 4 on the course.
Yeah, I agree.
Besides maybe hole 18. That's a hard one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Different kind of hard.
Missy with the only birdie, one of only 5 today. That makes me feel a lot better about how this hole went.
Yeah, jot it in your notebook. Give yourself a break.
No one birdies this one.
Missy tied with Annika and Sten at 3 down through 4.
Hole 5 is a beautiful wooded hole. It's 480 feet and a par 3. A tough one. Not one that is reachable by most players in the field, but you do see some really great flip-up backhands that glide all the way down this long straight fairway. Even though I don't love how long this hole is, it is such a fun hole to throw, and I am for it. The rough on this left side is pretty brutal. Early right is brutal as well, but there is some ways to scramble because it's up on top of a hill. Let's check in with Kat Merch and see how she plays it.
Probably ridiculously good.
Yeah, the hyzer flip queen.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, yeah.
That's so good.
18 feet.
Most perfect shots still land outside the circle. That's
So good.
an amazing birdie.
This played us the 2nd most difficult hole today. Kat just makes it look like it's not a big deal at all and
Not a
that
big
anyone can
deal.
do it.
Yeah. I think if it was maybe like 40 feet shorter, you know, still
Yep.
hard, but
Yeah. I love a shorter pin placement.
just a little bit. Missy gets it in the center, has a little bit of turn on it. Because what you see, it's not worth it to attack. So most ladies taking some off, just landing in the middle and taking their par, and that's not what we want to see. We want to see Kat Merch style, just going for it.
Yeah, you can see Owen just basically throwing it on the ground, just trying to get it as close to the center as she can without biting off really any distance. Holyn definitely going for it.
Yeah. She is going Z Cicada here.
Doesn't quite flip up.
Yeah, great power on it. She actually might have a circle 2 look.
It's insane that she can glide that far without the disc ever turning.
Yeah. I think I was a slower speed fairway driver. Kristin trying to get down there too. Look at that late turn, just holding and holding.
So good. And that is a more typical excellent shot on this hole, right on the edge of circle 1 or just barely into circle 2.
That was Kristin's Gold Line St. Pro. Seems like she's leaning on that one heavily this event. Oh, and just splitting the hole in half basically makes quick work of this par 3, continuing her streak of not birdieing the 3s. I wonder how long she can go. Missy also just pitching up.
Holyn.
Ooh, window.
Yeah, window, obstructed, but window. Not sending it too hard. Respect.
Yeah, this green, though not super sloped, can get you.
Yeah, it's fast. It's hard pack. Kristin with the birdie, one of only 3 birdies on the day today. We saw Kat Merch. Haley King also got it. She actually parked it.
She would.
She would.
Probably with a Wraith.
Only half the field, though, parring this one. That means that leaves, quick math, 45% of the field getting a bogey or worse here. This hole plays hard.
I like that you say quick math before you do it.
Give me more time.
Good job.
Played it off real cool, right?
It sounded like the correct amount of math, too. And our feature card playing that hole clean, difficult to do with that 45% bogey rate. Missy in solo first at 3 down. Hole 6, a very birdieable par 4. It's only 419 feet. Most women are going to lay up and stay at the top of the hill, but you can go all the way down into this ditch if you want. Ideally, you're landing right about here, kind of on the left side, setting up a forehand or a backhand turnover approach shot. Another pretty fast green. If you come in, if you have to throw a fairway driver or something like that, that's fast. You can get some big skips, so it's nice to throw a little bit slower speed if you can. This is one you're really thinking, you gotta at least get a look.
Yeah, a par 4 at 419 feet. This landing zone is pretty small, though. Kristin trickling over the edge, still in the open, though, and she'll be able to throw a standstill sidearm from there. You just got to make sure you're far enough left, but not too far.
I'm starting to see more ladies kind of pushing into this ditch like Missy's doing here, and then throwing from down there instead of trying to hit the perfect landing zone. Because it's pretty short. You're just throwing uphill, so it's a little awkward, but
Yeah.
I don't know, how many times have you thrown the perfect approach shot, but you're a couple feet over right behind that one tree? You know?
Not that much, but I'm really good at short golf.
Okay, not you. As
As a field.
like the royal.
Yeah. I feel like
this.
Yeah, that is definitely
Okay, well
a
that
common
slid
landing
out.
zone.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That I haven't really ever thrown from the bottom of the gully there. I do know it's not great. Ooh, Owen buzzing the basket. It's not great to be down in that gully to the right. The way the trees are blocking that right side of the green, it makes it pretty hard to throw an approach from down there.
Holyn having to swing out and around said trees and parks it. Kristin with the harp, a little bit more straight look at it. Puts it to within 20 feet, it looks like.
This hole was, again, one of the easiest holes of the day. There were 21 birdies in the field.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, I can see.
She's so close.
I can see this. I can see why people like this.
You're bringing definitely a little more luck into play and unpredictability, but she didn't have to throw it very far. Looks like it doesn't pay off. Write it down.
Yeah. Stick to your game plan.
Stick with
to
the
your
layup.
gut. Another birdie for Kristin Tattar. 2 in a row, and she is 2 under.
Holyn getting under par as well. Easy birdie.
And another birdie from Owen, also 2 under par.
I believe the course record is 8 down from Ella Hansen last year.
Yep, in the 4th round. And I feel like that's going to be a hard score to match with how rough the rough is this year, but I guess everyone is keeping it in the fairway pretty nicely so far.
We'll see.
Hole 7 is an uphill par 4, 538 feet. This tee shot is really what sets the pace for the rest of the hole. They added an out of bounds line on the left-hand side. There used to only be one all the way down the right side, and you were able to scramble from the rough over there. Like we said, the rough is extremely rough, especially on the second half of this fairway. That pinch point is really important and a very big deciding factor based on where your drive lands. You have to decide, do I want to lay up or do I want to try to go for the green through that very narrow landing area?
I don't mind that they made the left side OB. I just wish it bubbled a little bit more towards the green to reward going for it.
Definitely. You have to just go so big off the tee to be comfortable going for it on your second shot. Or it's not even you have to go big. You
just have to not be on the hill.
Yeah, the landing zone is very small.
Kristin getting up to the flat. She's a little bit left, but that's kind of nice because you can throw more of a hyzer. I'm going to be pushing that OB, but looks like she's safe. Holyn working down the right side. That's going to be a great spot. Ooh, Missy might be pinned behind one of those trees. It's kind of weird because it's so narrow now that the layup... Like, do you lay up short of the pinch point?
Missy looking like she's trying to throw this reverse patent pending backhand.
Nice.
Keeping it nice and low, trying to avoid any sort of crazy ground play.
That was great.
Own with that hyzer approach like Erika was saying.
Man, it's not bad over here. I'm always a little bit on the right side and I have to throw dead straight, but I don't know. I kind of like what they're doing.
Holyn forced to try to work a forehand. Ooh.
Wow. That's a beautiful shot.
Oof, that is so good.
Looks like she's inside the circle. Kristin pulls this one, headed straight towards out of bounds. Does not come back. Just a bit of a late release, perhaps. Looking like a bogey for sure.
Missy from circle 2. This is more uphill than it looks on camera. You're definitely thinking about potential rollaways here as well. You want to come in nice and soft, but Own get the birdie.
I'm proud of us. That was the first time we said it's more uphill than it looks on camera, which is so hard not to say about every hole out here at D-Glow.
Oh, Holyn right off the front of the rim. Looks like Own's going to walk away with the only birdie on our feature card. There were 8 birdies on the day today out of 48.
And I guess we haven't really talked about how this is our first... Wait, is this Elite Plus? It's not our playoff.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Elite Plus, so worth a little bit more points. Was the field limited? Or is that just a little bit low?
No, it was limited.
Okay.
Yep, 48 competitors. And the last event before we enter into playoffs, starting in a couple weeks at Smuggler's Notch.
Looks like we got a 4-way tie for first place. Hole 8. Another, I would call this a must-get par 3, 390 feet, but uphill, so plays farther. I like a forehand off the tee. There's OB on both sides. You want to be to the left of this tree and up the hill if you can. If you're pinched too far to the right, you can see those low-hanging branches are going to get in your way as you approach the pin. But if you get a decent first shot, it's really a fairly short approach, and it's kind of nice. There's a backstop back there. You do see some rollaways here, though. We've seen some historically bad ones, particularly on the putting green if you hit the cage.
Yeah, this is one of the steepest inclines on the course on the second half of this fairway. Thankfully, like Erika said, it is one of the easier holes of the day.
Own with a great forehand to kick off the card here. Holyn going higher. knifier into the tree. That might have helped her. It's kind of headed towards out of bounds.
Yeah, and being underneath that tree, those low-hanging branches can block your ability to approach, so kicking over to the left like it did was very fortunate.
Missy working the turnover here, getting past the tree. Definitely going to give her a chance to get a birdie. It's her Big Z Mantis.
Kristin, a little bit of an early release here. Going to be in that same tree. Hopefully it pushed through to the front side of that tree. Ooh,
Yeah.
Holyn a little more pinched than I thought.
Yeah, even if you kick to the left, it's pretty tough. She's trying to go out and around. Got to be careful, though. I think she's pushed too deep into the out of bounds to the left of the pin.
Yeah, trying to get aggressive there, even with a really overstable disc, it's so difficult to get the turn. It's very common to find that deep out of bounds.
Yeah, you kind of have to cut the corner a little bit. Kristin doing a much better job of that, putting it to about 22 feet for a birdie.
Even though this is one of the easier holes on the course, it's crazy how just bringing that tree into play off the tee can make it instantly a really difficult hole.
Mm-hmm. Missy with a nice little chip forehand. And you can see how much easier this hole gets if you get a little bit more to the left of the fairway. Owen with a wide open look at it. Absolutely parks it. Holyn trying to save a par here. Oh, man.
That was amazing.
Starts walking it in. She's still a little unsure, but
Yeah.
committed to the walk.
I mean, that hillside's kind of pulling that putter down, but it finds just enough hyzer there at the end.
Oh, man, that thing looks so cool when it's spinning. What a great putt to save par. You are kicking yourself if you bogey this one. Missy, high chains on the left side for her birdie bid.
I played with Annalie Chukas today, and we were talking about potentially before this event going and finding a sloped green to try to practice putting on, because it's crazy how a 20-footer with this steep of a green can feel so different from a regular 20-footer.
It's true.
It doesn't just feel like a 30-footer either. It feels like a different type of putt.
Yeah, you got to use more like legs.
Yep, you can see Missy missing high left. That's a really common miss on these uphill putts. It's a strange feeling.
And we never warm up on hills, do we?
No. And then you also almost have to pull out like a straddle putt. Sometimes the stagger stance doesn't feel right on these steep greens.
Yeah. Looks like Paige Pierce and Owen Scoggins here on the feature card in a tie for first right now at 4 down.
Well, let's wrap up the front nine with this very, very, very long par 3. It looks like a big, beautiful downhill shot from up here, and it is, but it's still extremely difficult to reach at 472 feet. You just have to go so far after the hill. The hill's pretty early off the tee pad. The out of bounds or the rough on the right and left side is pretty brutal, but the left you really want to avoid. There is no out of bounds on this one. So you can go huge if you want, but a lot of players just trying to get something in the middle and throw an approach on this elevated basket.
Did you talk about how bad the short left rough is? It's the worst
Yeah.
on the course. Just the worst. Owen in the middle. Kristin starting this on a lot of highs. We're getting some good flip up. Going big here.
Yep.
Maybe about pin high in circle 2. Hard to do much better than that on this long, long, long par 3.
Holyn, again, working the hyzer flip game. This looks beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And that's about as good as it gets right there. You can see people get inside the circle, but that tree is a really good indicator of a great shot in the FPO field. We are playing the same pin and basket as MPO.
And T-pad.
That's what I meant. T-pad and basket.
Missy also getting out there. Everyone making it look pretty simple. And it's, as long as you're in the short grass, it is a simple par.
This is another one that I kind of wish they would consider.
Just a little bit closer.
Yeah, just a tiny bit. It doesn't need to be a gimme by any means. I like the idea of having to throw a distance shot, but I don't know.
20 feet.
20 feet. There were, let's see. No one was able to get to circle 1 in regulation in the entire field of 48. You can see Missy Gannon, one of the best driver throwers in the game, just laying up. Kristin with a circle 2 bid.
Nice little run there from Kristin.
There were 8 out of 48 competitors to circle 2 in regulation.
And 3 of them here on the feature card. Holyn.
Man.
Looking confident, hitting dead center band on her birdie bid.
There were only 2 birdies on the day, both from circle both from circle 2. Yeah. Haiti Line and Maria Oliva.
Oh, Maria hit, a big putt. I saw her run it in.
This is pretty typical here. A round of pars. 79% of the field parring this one.
And that'll wrap up the front 9. We got one of our leaders on the feature card here, Owen Scoggins, and defending champ, Paige Pierce, also 4 down, Haiti Line, Missy Gannon in a tie for 4th. Lots more birdies on the back, mostly par 4s, as you can probably imagine, and par 5s, some more tough 3s. I think some of the more difficult holes on the back 9.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think you kind of want to stack them up a little bit on the front. But the back does have, like Erika said, a lot of par 4s, which are the more scoreable holes. But 3 of the most brutal finishing holes, I would say, on the year here.
Yeah.
They're just ones that can turn into big numbers very quickly. So always an exciting finish here at Toboggan Disc Golf Course. Come hang with us on the back 9 for round 1 of 4 of the Discraft Great Lakes Open. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the 2 hot geese.
Honk.
Honk.